Our pace of living leaves us little time for leisure. Our program will give you a chance to experience the fascinating world of traveling, extreme adventures, hunting and fishing. Each week we will take you to the most beautiful places of Kazakhstan. Each spring, all the staff of game reserves and national parks of Kazakhstan, equipped with binoculars and notebooks, go out into the fields and forests to conduct a census of all game animals. The data is obtained by the Territorial Inspection of the Wildlife. After cameral treatment, this information will be sent to the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan. On the basis of these data, the cabinet makes an important decision: how many animals of these species can be hunted for the following year. We are going to one of the most picturesque corners of Kazakhstan to take part in the census of spring species, together with the stock record union Black Uba or Chorная Uba. In order to get to Altai, we need to travel by plane to the regional center of the East Kazakhstan region, Ust-Kamenogorsk, then get to the district center named Rida by car. From there on the mountain road to a farm where we agreed to meet with director of the farm Evgeny Sidelnikov. In Ust-Kamenogorsk we hired a small local SUV. Such cars are made here in Ust-Kamenogorsk at a local car factory. We loaded our SUV with all our stuff and hit the road. Our adventures start earlier than we planned. 10 kilometers away from Rida, on a small river called Breksa, the spring floods washed away the bridge. We tried to force the river, but its strong stream catches our car and carries it into a deep pit. All clothing, gear and equipment get soaked. Well, luckily, the phone stays intact. We called Evgeny, and an hour later he comes to rescue us.
Стартовали мы не совсем удачно, но быстро мы поменяли транспорт, вытащили свою...
Our start wasn't that successful, but we changed our transport quickly. We pulled out our equipment out of water. Now we have to dry out, and then we'll go hunting for wild animals, moving over the Tiguretsky Ridge. In the afternoon, we're already on the farm and hang our clothes, sleeping bags and tents to let them dry out. But they don't dry out during the night.
Вся моя одежда мокрая, но ребята мне помогли.
All my clothes are wet, but these guys helped me. I'm dressed in someone else's clothes. And now we're loading the SUV to go hunting. We have to reach the top of Tiguretsky Mount, the area of the census, from the farm with the help of the towing car. At this time of year, no other transport in Altai Taiga can be used. It is 16 kilometers from the settlement to the lower winter hut. Typically, a towing vehicle can cover this distance in 2 to 3 hours. But in the second half of April, in Taiga, snow is still very deep, and even such car of a car skids, punching snow blockages only from the third or even fourth time. The road to the wintering ground took about 10 hours. Not far from our wintering hut, our baby tank has finally bottomed in a particularly deep snow drift, and we have to go to the hut on foot.
Вот такие каменистые россыпи называются курумниками.
These are the rocky deposits. They are called kurumniki. Walking on them is very difficult, because all stones stagger. If you step the wrong way, the stone may roll, and you roll together with the stones. We are met by Hunter Victor, our acquaintance. In the winter ground we go to a banya to steam and take a bath, and next morning, together with Evgeny and Victor, we go to Taiga to do the census. Each spring, thousands of hoofed animals migrate through the Tiguretsky Ridge: deer, elk, roe deer, followed by predators such as bears, wolves, and wolverines. They all gather in the upper canyons, waiting for the mountain passes to open. Depending on the weather, the Great Migration may take place between the 22nd of April and the 1st of May. The first animals to make way in the deep snow are elk. They play almost the same role in the wildlife as an SUV in our expedition. After elk, deer and roe deer start their migration. Together with Victor and Evgeny, we climb to the Larchikha headwater and install trail cameras.
Ну вот я уже практически.
Well, here I am almost on the top.
По этим курумникам опасно ходить, потому что ям.
It is dangerous to walk in Kurumniki, because the pit between the stones is covered with snow and you can have a smash fall in a big pit. That's what's happened just now. It's much more difficult to recalculate species in taiga than in the mountains with open spaces. It is hard to observe prudent animals in taiga. When a man walks in the woods, a twig may suddenly crunch under your feet, ice crust may break, and animals have excellent senses of hearing and smell. They run away as soon as they hear a person before the time he notices them. Therefore, in taiga, a combined method of senses is used. The territory of the complex is divided into sections. Through each station on the map, the route of recalculation is shown. It is called a transection. The checkman is moving along the transection, noting down all incoming and outgoing animals' traces on the map. Another checkman is moving along another ravine. Once the data is obtained, it is compared, and as a result, you can roughly calculate how many animals passed through the land by transit and how many remained inside. The snow depth is more than a meter, and you can only move with the help of the skins. But the weather is warm and the snow is melting very fast. And here we find traces of the elk. Yesterday there was an elk, but apparently it's not a migrating one. This elk is local, which spent its winter here. A pair of wolverines was frisking here in this glade. These predators are just at their breeding period. Victor said that a couple of days ago he heard a wolverine howling in the mating period. I have no idea what kind of howling it was. He could not explain. But I hope I'll be lucky enough to hear them cry even if I do not see them myself. And here is the bear crossing the glade.
Медведи поднимаются здесь в первой или во второй.
Bears here get out of their dens in the early or mid-April. At first, they do not go far from their shelters. They feed on aspen shoots, scavenge or follow the elk by ice crust. And in case of bad weather and heavy snow, they can come back to their dens for a short sleep. On the northern slopes, deep snow is still there, and on southern expositions, there's green fresh grass. Bears are attracted to such sights. Here we can observe an interesting picture. There is a small bear on the slope. It has a right size, but you can define by behavior that it's a young animal. Here it tries to ride on snow, but wet snow is not rolling. Bad luck. It can eat some fresh grass anyway. But here's something that caught the young bear's attention. At first, we thought it might be that it smells us. But no, it looks the other way. Most likely it feels the smell of another bear. Judging by the worrying behavior of our bear, it got excited about the bear, which is larger than itself. And here we see how a big black male bear is passing down the slope. Our bear runs away. Hunters know that bears are cannibals, but those who study their behavior by the cartoon Masha and the Bear probably will be surprised if they find out that any resident coming across the bear on its face, even if it's its skin, it'll be sure to try to kill a rival and eat it.
В Казахстане медведи обитают в самых разнообразных ландшафтных зонах.
Kazakhstan bears live in a wide variety of areas. In the boreal forest, as this one for example. In central and northern Tian Shan, bears can be found on the border of the eternal ice at an altitude of 4,000 meters. In West Tian Shan, there are areas where bears live on the unforested low hills. The bears are adaptable to a variety of habitats, and their omnivorous diet plays an important role in this high adaptability of the bears. Bears are omnivores. When necessary, they become predators, and when there are berries and nuts, bears can easily switch to them and vegetarian food.
Когда поспевают ягоды, орехи, медведи легко переключаются на растительную пищу.
We haven't noticed how quickly the week passes. The peaks of rocks are covered with snow, but the Chorная Uba Valley is almost thawed with snow, and forest edges are covered with lush green grass decorated with lilac pink, pink and purple color of Erythronium sibericum. Local hunters eat its bulbs. The chipmunk also likes to eat Erythronium sibericum. And this is a mouse hare, so-called the mountain whistling hares, because of their habit of making tiny haystacks. Taiga in the morning meadows is filled with the whistling of hazel grouse. If you sit still, you can watch as they perform a mating ritual. In the most secret places of taiga, caper K-leaf perform their mating ritual. Black cocks gather together in the meadows along the river. At the end of April is the first time when we see a migrating roe deer. Every day the number of passing deer increases. It's rainy today and cloudy, but just in such weather, ungulates are active. Today migration is particularly active. Since the morning we counted 6 species. We were lucky to see roe deer and especially elk in the dense forest. Deer usually run until the midday. Night temperatures in taiga can be as low as -8 degrees. Melting snow is covered by a firm crust by night. In the early hours of the morning, wet and dense snow can withstand animals and humans. Locals call it charim. But it falls in under heavy hooves of deer. Solid dust cuts the feet of deer. So they prefer to move in the afternoon, when the snow is soft and it is melting.
Вот я вижу довольно много следов.
I see quite a lot of tracks near trail cameras. Now we can see what animals were here last night. There are a lot of pictures. Mostly deer, roe deer, bucks are in spring antlers. By the end of May, the velvet deer antler fur will fade. The breeding season is coming. In a week or so, roe deer's lambing period will start. Deer give birth to their young a little later, at the end of May. Here runs the group of elks. After long wanderings in taiga, it is time for us